So it's been a while since I did one of the Soldier Tales videos. I want to try to start doing those again. I think I did 3 of them, but that's a series I want to start getting back into. And just telling stories, funny stories usually of stuff we did in the Army. Trying to keep it kind of lighthearted, not anything real heavy like combat or anything, but just silly stories, what some of the soldiers do. Anyway, and I was in Taji, Iraq during the surge, and I was a maintenance supervisor, so I was in charge of a lot of the mechanics. And one group of the mechanics, they're not always busy, and they always got to find stuff to do, which is kind of crazy, idle hands, but they had come up with this thing where they built a rocket launcher, which was just a wooden base, and then they had water bottles like this, and then they had a clip that would go right there, just a metal clip that would go hold it right there where the cap is, so upside down, and they whittled a hole inside the cap, and they had an air hose mounted so you could push the water bottle down on the air hose to a little nipple, put that metal bracket in to hold it. They had a string on it, and then they pump the air pressure up in it to about 120 psi, and then someone would pull the string, which would pull the bracket, which would let the water bottle go up in the air, way up in the air. And they started competing to see who could get the best design, and it was big water bottles, bigger than the one I just showed you. And they taped a couple water bottles together, and they put rocks. They experimented. They had rocks in the middle, taped where they wouldn't move, and they had it figured out. They got down to a science. Some of them even taped fins on it so it would rifle when it went up. They got to where it was going, really, really high. And that's one of the things that, because I was supervisor of a lot of these guys, so it's one of the things where you don't want to know too much about what they're doing. They're not doing something crazy, but you don't want to get involved in it either, or you don't want to have to be the party pooper and tell them they had to stop. So anyway, so they would do this thing, and I'd seen them do it a couple times. I kind of just laughed it off. Thought it was pretty cool, pretty good ingenuity. They were really getting good at it. Anyway, one day they were out everybody had built their rockets, and they were out there shooting them off, and the base defense guys, this is Camp Taji was a huge base over in Iraq. And the base defense guys come rushing over there in Humvees, and they were seeing objects leave Camp Taji, go up in the air, and then fall back down on Camp Taji. And they were always tracking the indirect fire and the rockets and the mortars and stuff that was coming in from outside the wire onto Taji. So anyway, they rushed over there to see what was going on. And they got there and saw what the soldiers were doing. And the supervisor, Sergeant Collada, of those guys, he was apologizing. Hey, I won't let them do it no more. And the guys were like, no, we don't care if you do it. It was actually pretty cool. He said, next time you do it, just give us a call, let us know. We can tell you how high your rockets are getting, which I thought was awesome. And think about that. We got the technology to pick up water bottles leaving the surface and coming back down. So I never really got word on how high they were getting, but it was pretty high. It was just water and air pressure, which pretty cool. But when you overseas like that and you're a mechanic, and, you're not working 24/7. So there's downtimes and times where you got to find ways of entertaining yourself. But pretty cool. Definitely some soldiers engineering But I just thought I'd share that story with you. It's a pretty funny story. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, and remember, freedom is certainly not free. Thanks for watching.